Okay, item number 883. Wayne, this is your item. I believe you
Yes, sir.
requested this, so
Right.
go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman Wright. I'd like to call up Scott Sharoff. Scott Sharoff, if you'd come and, I've got you, update of us on the Office of Public Engagement. I think we need to hear what work you're doing. I was very proud to hear the report.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. For the record, my name is Scott Strofe. I serve as the Director of the Office of Public Engagement here at the Railroad Commission. I am here this morning to provide you with an update of the activities of the Office of Public Engagement throughout fiscal year 2026. Over the past year, our three-member team has traveled extensively throughout the state, east to west from Beaumont to Dumas, and north to south from Burnett to Harlingen. These efforts reflect our commitment to serving as a liaison to the citizens of Texas, answering their questions, addressing concerns, and educating all of our stakeholders about the Commission's jurisdiction, our rules and processes, as well as the contributions to the Texas energy industry to the state, U.S., and global economies. During fiscal year 2026, the Office of Public Engagement represented the Commission in 48 different outreach activities across 45 unique Texas communities. These efforts included 32 speaking engagements with civic organizations, municipal leaders, students, and families, as well as 16 opportunities to serve as exhibitors at trade shows, conferences, and other public-facing events. In total, we've reached over 1,500 attendees through speaking engagements and over 23,650 individuals at exhibiting events. This year, we also launched a new initiative to hear directly from members of the public through listening sessions. These virtual sessions include a brief presentation of the agency's jurisdictional role, followed by an open forum for members of the public to voice their comments and concerns. Each session features subject matter experts from across the agency to address our stakeholders' concerns and provide real-time feedback. During the past fiscal year, we've hosted 4 of these events, reaching 175 registered attendees. In addition to these outreach efforts, the Office of Public Engagement team worked alongside the Oil and Gas Division, the Oversight and Safety Division, and the Executive Office to host the 2026 Regulatory Conference. This year's event was a record-breaking in several ways, including our highest registration count to date at 1,196 registrations and a total attendance on site of 1,114 attendees. The conference featured over 80 educational breakout sessions, 64 exhibitors, drawing attendees from 13 states, Washington, D.C., Mexico, and Canada. We are very thankful for the support of our executive staff and you, our commissioners, in making this event such a success. I want to personally thank you for allowing me and the Office of Public Engagement the privilege of serving this agency and our great state throughout our outreach efforts. Looking ahead, we are excited to continue expanding listening sessions, participating in public events, collaborating with other agency divisions and departments, providing daily customer service through calls, emails, and inquiries received via Public Assist and our website. We look forward to the new opportunities of the new coming fiscal year. We remain dedicated to upholding our tradition of availability, accessibility, and transparency in all we do. Thank you, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Scott.
I was going to say, can I just say,
Sure.
Thank you, Scott. I mean, when I first got here, we had nothing like this. So I'm very glad that y'all, what you're doing, and it's continued to grow.
We're very pleased to serve.
And I appreciate y'all getting out there and
Yeah,
doing
Scott,
all this.
You and your team have done a great job. Thank you for everything you are doing.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. I appreciate you and your team, just as the other commissioners do. And I think this is evidence of the fact that it's very valuable that the public, that the people, that legislators, that everybody know what we do. We've got, the most qualified, wonderful staff. Of course, I'm slightly prejudiced. I think the Railroad Commission is the finest example of a governmental agency that assists the public and assists producers to do the right thing. We allow the free market to operate as much as possible, and I think it's evidenced by we are quoted in the world as the top regulatory agency for oil and gas on planet Earth. And I think that's something that we should be proud of. And it's the offices across the state, it's the many workers across the state, it's the qualified people in this room and in this building that are to be commended for that. And I think the problem I've seen in my decade of having been here is the fact that a lot of folks out there don't know what the heck we do. I can go to any place, any club, any organization, and I guarantee you half the folks don't know what the punk the Railroad Commission does. And I get all kinds of letters, as do you, all over this building, of fixing the railroad trestle at somebody's place that's broke down. And I think that's a very big danger to us as a public, as to a state, because I've been to Washington, D.C., going to Texas Congressman's office, and their staff has no clue what the Railroad Commission is. I go over to the state capitol, and I stand with students that are given positions all over the Capitol to receive and to, frankly, in Washington and the Capitol, they're the ones that screen whether you get through to talk to the senator, the representative, the secretary of energy, or anything else in this nation and state. And those people that are screening have no clue. And whenever you say, I'm from the Railroad Commission, Bubba, you don't get in the door to see the boss. And that's a big danger. Thirdly, we are a nation that our state, unlike most other agencies, we're not government appointed. We're elected by millions of Texans across this state. And when they go to the poll and they're not informed of what the heck they're voting on, I think that's a big disservice to the voters of this state. And so with that, commissioners, I have a proposal to update the commission's public engagement policy. It's not been updated since 2005. And commissioners, I'd like to share my proposal with you now.
I'm gonna put that on a new item. We'll call
Okay.
that item 884.
Right.
And you can go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. Officially, but a new item now.
Yes.
Do I get a new second on this? Is that what
There was no
new number?
nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Here is the draft of my proposal for you to review. And while you're considering that, I believe our current public engagement and participation policy favors availability over accessibility. And that's been testified many times before our body, that we're just not as accessible. And when we limit testimony time to the other matters at hand, require people to physically come all the way here, as the commission, we're unfairly limiting who can participate and what can be said. And I've seen many times people drive up here a jillion miles, which if you're in Texas, you drive a jillion miles. But they come here and we limit them to 3 minutes and the red light comes on and sorry, you're it. And driving 3 miles hours coming and going, I think is just unfair in many situations. Texas is a big state. And we should not expect someone to drive those miles in Austin, take time off work, put their family responsibilities on hold just to have their voice heard for those 3 minutes. And with modern technology, why not take advantage? I mean, one thing COVID did good, I think, is Zoom calls. I think it really changed the world. And there's very few things COVID did that was good, believe me. That one thing had us relying on technology for Zooming calls that are a tremendous opportunity. The success of the Office of Public Engagement shows there's a better way. We can take what is working and expand it. At the end of the day, this is about making the Railroad Commission more accessible and making sure more of the people we serve can participate. I have a motion whenever you're finished, commissioners,
Well,
reviewing
yeah,
to take
this,
a look.
this that you passed out, do you have any questions about this at all?
Well, I guess my question, what is this new? What's new in it, Wayne, or what are we looking at differently of what the current policy is? Because I don't have the current policy in front of me.
Right. Well, this will allow us to expand the amount of time that people can testify. They can call in at a separate day, a separate location here in the building, and people to be able to call in from all over the state whenever they want to, register to speak, but allow them time to present on Zoom calls from across the state of Texas to be able to testify and bring their petition here. That way they don't have to drive to our building.
Where
Voters
does
and
it,
people all across this state can be able to testify.
where does it say that?
Well, it's,
I'm trying to clarify what you're trying to do so I can understand.
right. Well, it just allows that. That's the policy that I've had them draw up and relate and to become familiar with so that they can present from our Office of the Policy of Public Engagement what they felt would be the best way to expand that. And that's what we're presenting here. So if you need a month to consider that, I'll withdraw I hadn't even made the motion yet. I've presented that so I can just have it for your observation and review for this next month. If you feel you need more time, then we can come back and consider this at a later date. But that's what it is. It's just expanding the exposure is my intent, because I just think it's unfair for 3 minutes people come all over the state and not be able to present what they want. And it's been presented in the testimony here almost every month that people do not have the opportunity to come here And rather than us send people out across the state, which our Office of Public Participation does that, but you'll never reach everybody in Texas. It's an impossible task. And the nearest opportunity we have to do that is by allowing modern technology, people to call in, Zoom in, whatever they can use in technology to communicate their views and their values. I've been doing Doge calls across the state to industry, and it's proved very successful at people expressing to our staff on operational activities. This would expand those Doge opportunities to recommend to the Railroad Commission their desires, their suggestions, their complaints. They'll be able to do that to a much larger capacity across the state.
Well, I like what you're trying to do here, Wayne. I think it gives people a better opportunity to bring their concerns and have a, ample amount of time to really dive in on what those concerns are. But before you make a motion, Christie, unless you want to wait to do this.
Well, I have a concern mainly because I think we've been doing a bunch of this, and I'm happy for that. And so I think Scott and how we've expanded that. I have a concern that it says that we're getting rid of our normal posting for public participation in our meeting, in our open meeting. Because while I may not disagree that some people have abused the issue but I do believe some people want to talk to us as commissioners and as elected official. I think that's something ought to be open to.
Well, that doesn't dissuade that. It allows you as a commissioner can recognize or can request of the chairman recognition of anybody that you desire, such as, if we had a county commissioner, if we had anybody, if Governor Perry decided to want to come and talk, you would have the opportunity as a commissioner to allow that and request it, or at least ask the chairman, Madam Chairman, may I, allow to speak for me? And that would be at the discretion of the commissioners at each meeting. So you have the opportunity. Nothing is limited here that's not already limited by the will of the commissioners. So that control does not leave.
Well, it says I would have to post it myself then.
Yeah, you would individually take care
So
of it.
we just won't have a normal posting.
That's right. That would be done at the separate meeting, which would allow statewide or anybody.
Well, I think we ought to do both, I guess is my point. I think we ought to do both. I think we ought to, I like that we've been doing these open meetings and are having people call in and give us feedback, but I think we ought to do both.
Well,
And I think that's the challenge I have with the way I read this.
Well, I disagree because I just feel it's an insult for that red light to come on and shut up and sit down. I mean, that's just impolite to me in that situation. I know it's done appropriate places, but I'm just uncomfortable with that. And that's why I think this is a better direction.
But before you go on with your motion, Wayne, just so both of you know, we have Miss Virginia Palacios representing herself and commission shift available for questions on this item. If you guys have any questions of Miss Palacios, and if not, then Commissioner Christian, if you want to make a motion, feel
Yes.
free.
I move the Railroad Commission of Texas adopt as presented here this revised Railroad Commission of Texas public engagement and participation policy effective upon conclusion of this open meeting.
Okay, I second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. That item is approved.